So, welcome back, Unit 2, the power of the positives. So, Kim, if you could carry on as we go through, actually, just to put that for a moment, we don't need it like for the whole session because we want to see your face as well, but just to show, because the book is really beautiful, actually, and the images are very helpful. You know, the illustrations really communicate a lot about the concept. So, it is very nice to be able to have a look at them. So actually this is a good point, because here what you can see is on the right, you know, energy, then a barrier, and beyond the barrier, no energy. And that's the concept of where, thank you, Kim, where we have a blockage, you know, like an event happens and something gets stuck, and that blockage then creates an absence of energy in that area. And that's what is making our symptoms of stress, in that place. So it's good for us to understand, and this is an evolution for us, that our negative emotions coming from an absence of energy. And I know from those who did emo, you know, years ago, you know, when we did emo, in the old days, we used to think of, you know, it hurts, it feels like it's so hard. And we used to have this concept of hard energy and soft energy as a kind of a concept, like stress was a thing. It was a hard energy thing. But actually, it's a hole. It's a hole in the energy system. It's an absence of energy. And that's quite a dramatic difference from how we understand it. So stress isn't an entity in its own right, as we used to think. Stress and our pains is actually an absence of energy. That's what it is. And that's what brings the logic then of bringing energy to the place where there's an absence of energy or a deficiency of energy. So absence of money means we've got no money. Absence of food means we've got no food. Absence of water, we're thirsty. So we're not tapping away our negative emotions. We are adding energy to the place where there's a lack of energy to get it flowing again. Because where there's that hole in the energy system, where some disruption creates a barrier, there's no energy flow. So what we're trying to get it flowing again in that area, and then into an overflow and a strong flow. That's what we're trying to do. And that logic, that beautiful logic, is the essence of it. And we can, just by tapping, we add energy. But what we're going to look at as what specific energies we need to add, what positive energy remedies will be just the right one that we need. So this is like a very reliable structure that we've observed, that we're just putting into place. So the power of the positives. So we're using only positives. So in the old days, or not even the present day, in some other ways, where we have a problem, you know, oh, there's sadness, there's pain, we tap on the pain, we tap on the sadness. We know we're going to be tuning into it. We're not ignoring it, we're acknowledging it and feeling it. But instead of tapping first on the sadness to then find what the positives are, we're going to start with the positives right at the beginning. So, so we're going to be tuning in what's needed. What's needed. So it's like, thanks, Kim, it's like, you know, you're hungry. What do you need? You know, I need bread. All right. I really need strawberries, you know. All right. No, I know I need greens. I know my body needs greens. And it's the same thing, only an energetic hunger. We're tuning in what is needed. I remember one time I had a friend said to me, and I wrote about it in my love clinic one day. And she said to me in a phone call, oh, I just need someone to tell me everything's going to be okay. So I told her, everything's going to be okay. And she went, ah. So that was like the perfect remedy for her hunger state. The stress state was a hunger state of some kind. And she knew what the antidote was. She knew what energy she needed to restore her back into being in her flow and balance.
Sandra, be very comfortable by calling me every day, telling me that too.
Everything's going to be okay, Gisela. Everything is going to be okay. Despite what's going on, everything is going to be okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. So now positives that we're going to be using, they're only aspects of love, in the same way that white light breaks up into colors as we put it through the prism. So it's made up of all these different frequencies, which together make white light. So it's the same with love, that all the positives you can think of are all flow states. They're all, you know, relaxation is a movement of an unrestricted movement through your energy body. Peace is a flow state. Courage is a more powerful flow state. Happiness is an even higher flow state. So all of the positives are just aspects of flow states in the energy body. So they're aspects of love. So we're healing with love, but we're looking for, you know, the particular right remedy. From all the remedy, thank you, Kim, from all the remedy bottles of all the positives that we can have, we're choosing, well, which is the right one we need right now. So, but it's interesting that, you know, as Sylvia is presenting this, you know, working with positives, that there's a resistance out there to working with positives. And it's because when you're in a low state, you know, you're surrounded by the thinking about that, and you're functioning in that place, you're in the problem state and in the problem space. So when we're in higher states, you know, on the positive side of the Sue scale, it's natural. What's the next positive? What's the next better than this? It's actually natural in looking forwards to feeling better than this, that positives are the solution that we want. But it's less obvious when you're in the problem state. So hence, you know, when you're in the problem state, you think, oh, I have to tap on the problem, you know, but actually it's the positives which are the solution to it. And in fact, in my opinion, you know, when we are in the old ways tapping on our sadness, we're giving attention and recognition to our sadness. And so we're giving energy to our sadness. So actually we are doing a form of giving energy to it, even that we say it in that way. So examples of positives, page 47. You know, you've done positive EFT, Gisela, you know what positives are. So which positive we need is the best one for that person. The person knows, if you help your client to tune into themselves, to feel their emotions, to feel their problem, feel their stress in their body, and allow themselves to connect with that, and then you ask them what's needed. What do you need? And you know, what's the antidote to this? What do you need more of to help you? What's better than this? So these are kind of questions you can ask to get what they need, or what do you need first? You know, you might say to somebody, you know, what do you need? And they say, oh, I need courage. That's what I need. So I need confidence. So, which is quite high up on the Sue scale. And I did an example actually in a class with somebody in this, and we did a round on confidence. She says, oh, I don't feel any different. So I said, well, where are you now? And she said, well, I feel about -5. And so like confidence was like a +8. So I said, well, what's the first thing that you need on the way to confidence? And she said, love. So we tapped for love first. And then as she moved after a couple of rounds of love, then she could start, that confidence was now the right positive at that time to feed the energy system with. So there may be one remedy for the whole problem, or it may be a stepping stone of, well, what do I need first? You know, sometimes, especially in a painful and, you know, struggle states, you know, we could need like softness and gentleness and compassion and, you know, understanding kind of things first to get us to feel, oh, okay, a little bit more soothed and a bit stronger. And then hope, and now, you know, support, and, you know, so now we go up into other positives which strengthen the flow and take us higher up, and from there we can go to other positives too. So we can use positives in a number of different ways. It might be like the antidote. So here we are stressed, or stressed in a particular area of our life, and it may be that there's just one thing that you need, that's the antidote. You know, I just need it to be someone to tell me it's okay, for instance, or I just need support. You know, support's all I need. Support, and we tap, and support is all that's needed, and we get back into flow again. It might be that there's a general deficiency. So like, you know, we can have a deficiency in a particular vitamin or mineral. It might be that the energy system is deficient in a particular energy, you know, in the person's life, not just for now, but in general. So like, you know, they've never had respect, you know, it's never been there. So it's never, so, you know, respect would be like, you know, a vitamin that is needed to get the energy system back again. A healing remedy, again, that might be just the right positive to heal this particular problem. And that might appear straight away, or it might be in a series of stepping stones to get just the right one. You know, like really the example of my client there, she wanted confidence, but she needed a few stepping stones till she could get to confidence that she wanted. Good experiences. So when we work with positives, we are actually creating a good experience for somebody that's desirable for our client. You know, if you, how many people faced with, you know, healing and therapeutic work want to go into their painful memories and feel them? You know, it's, oh, do I have to go there? You know, whereas actually, I'm going to give you a positive experience. You're going to feel good doing it. Oh, okay, you know, I'm more up for that. So it's attractive and appealing to work with positives because it makes a good experience, and that encourages us to do it more often. Instead of restating the problem again, we're looking for positive energy solutions. So this is the difference in our orientation. Instead of, you know, we say, yes, how do you feel? Yeah, I feel stressed, anxious, fearful, angry. Okay, just feel, can allow yourself to feel that. And as you feel yourself, you know, what do you need? What's needed to let you feel better than this? What's needed to solve this? What's the first thing that's needed on the way to overcoming this? So we're looking for the solution right from the start, opposed to looking at the problem first, which is what we have done as a traditionally in our work. Yeah, so you can see the difference. So we're starting with positives, and so a new client, their first experience of tapping should be with positives, so that whatever happens, their first tapping experience is a positive experience. Rather than, oh, I did that tapping and I went into my painful memories and I felt awful before I felt better. We say, no, tapping made me feel great. So just, you know, we can use it as the first positive experience for a new client. Teaching the client how to tap with positives, and raising the energy of the client when we get to difficult moments. We can use positives to lift them back up again, and also empower the client to work on themselves, on their problems too. So, okay, so let's have an example. Positive problem solving. In pairs, one partner thinks of a long-standing problem and gives it a code name. So, you know, whatever's going on, you know, the situation, whatever it is, or, you know, give it a this blue problem, you know, whatever, give it a code name. And then the practitioner and the client help to find the first positive by asking the questions. So, okay, what do you need to overcome this? Or what do you need more of to help you deal with this more easily? Or what's the antidote to this? What's the solution for this? So these are the kind of questions we can be asking. And then tap a few rounds to bring the client through those stepping stones up toward +10. Okay, so, and we'll do a few rounds and then maybe 2 or 3 rounds and then swap over, so you can have a practice at eliciting the positives as well as tapping and experiencing it. Okay. So, as we discover there may be a series of positives that are needed in order to reach +10, we don't need to know them all in advance. We just need to know the first one, and the next ones will appear from the new energized state. We'll know what we need next. We need to feel better than this on the way to overcoming this problem. Okay, so we'll break up into 2 groups. You've going to have time to do both ways round for this, and do about 2 or 3 quick rounds on the positives. So you probably, to do both ways, need about, maybe need 15 minutes to 20 minutes for this, and we'll have another group exercise together after that. So if Kim, you've got your room, so if somebody would like to work with Kim, then if you could share your Zoom link in the Facebook group or in the WhatsApp group, whichever. And you're muted, Kim.
I'll have to leave this group to open mine, I think. I don't think I can have them both open together.
That's right,
so
yeah.
I'll do that and get my link, and
okay.
Drop it in the Facebook group will be easier for me.
Okay, so let's say Prabha, you're nodding along there. So if you want to go with Kim, so you and Kim will click on leave to leave this one, then you can click on the link of Kim's in the Facebook group. So it's 5 past now, so we'll come back at 25 past for the feedback about that and see how we get on. And then we've got Magdalena and Gisela can stay. We can do a group together here.
All right.
Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so who wants to be practitioner and who wants to be the client first?
I want to be the client
Both ways.
first.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so I'm the practitioner. Okay, so what you want to work on?
So actually, what we're going to do is that we're not going to talk about the problem, but to say, choose something, think what you want to work on, and give it a code name so you can talk about.
This is what I meant, but sorry for wording it in a wrong way.
Yeah. So, like, give it a code word, and you can talk about the code word problem. You know, this problem, how long I've had it, or whatever, how much it's bothering me, or difficult. But and then when you think about it, how do you feel about it? And once they're feeling it, then we can start to ask the questions to elicit what the positives are. So when we get to tapping, I'll just join in with the tapping. So over to you.
Okay. Well, let me see. Code name. The code name is box.
Say again?
Box.
Box. Okay.
Yes. I want to get out of the box.
Good one.
Well,
Okay. So you want to get out of the box. So what would be, what positive would you need to get out of the box?
Or another way to say the same question would be, what would the feeling be if you were out of the box? What feeling would that be?
So yeah, so this is solution-focused therapy, actually.
Yeah, exactly. It is solution focused. Yeah, exactly.
so would be, the feeling would be of expansion.
Expansion.
Yeah.
Yep. So do you want to tap on it?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So we're going to tap together as a team.
I'll join in with you, to help.
All right, Sandra, please feel free to correct me if I'm doing something, not right. So.
Yeah, it's okay. I'll help if I think it's necessary or if I think it can be helpful. So yeah.
Sure. Geez, I'm so annoyed with this. I can't put it correctly. I mean, my device. So never mind. Okay, let's let's focus on the business.
Yeah.
So expansion.
Expansion.
Should I ask for the Sioux scale first?
You could, You could say about the box problem. How do you feel? Where are you when you feel about the box problem? Where are you from -10 to +10 about the box problem? Yeah.
The box problem. -2.
-2. Okay. So good. So now, because what we want to do is have the client can be connected with the feelings, because that connects her with her energy state. So from being connected with the state, then she can know what she wants. And even though you're tapping for expansion, we want to be tapping for expansion for the starting place, for the box problem. So it's kind of related. Okay. So let's
so we're starting at the heart position.
Great. Yeah.
And we take 3 deep breaths. So
expansion. So
expansion.
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 Expansion. Expansion.
Expansion.
And really feel the meaning of what that feels like.
Expansion.
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 Expansion. Expansion.
Expansion.
Expansion. Expansion. Expansion. Expansion.
Expansion.
Expansion. Expansion.
Expansion. Expansion.
And we're back to the heart position. So 3 deep breaths.
Good.
So you're yawning, so basically that means that energy is moving throughout your body
Yeah.
quicker. And now when you think of the box issue, where it is on the SU scale, between -10 and +10?
It's at probably 2.
+2.
+2.
+2, yes. +2.
Okay.
Okay.
And what would be even better feeling you would like to feel about it?
Yeah. Is it more of the same, or is it something else we need now from here?
As well, it's more of the same with, it's like expansion and integration.
An integration. Okay, good.
Yes.
So can I make a suggestion, just I want to show you, Magdalena, another way to start off in the heart position. So
Yep.
if I just lead at starting, you can carry on. So coming back to the heart position, thinking about the box problem. Take a deep breath and say it out loud, expansion and integration.
Expansion and integration.
That's it. Okay. And take a breath again, and as you say it again, feel the meaning of those words.
Expansion and integration.
Good. So another deep breath. And as you say it again for the third time, see where you can feel the resonance and the movement of those words in your body.
Expansion and integration.
Okay, so now let's tap for that.
Expansion,
Expansion,
integration,
integration.
expansion,
Expansion and integration.
Expansion, integration.
Expansion and integration.
Good.
Expansion.
Expansion, integration. Breathing deep. Feel free to move your body. That's it. Expansion and integration. Very good. Very good. Expansion. Integration for the box problem. Expansion and integration. Feel the meaning of that. Integration. Very good. Very good. Very good. Okay, good. So come back to the heart. Okay, let's see what's evolving about the box now. But over to you, Magdalena.
Oh yeah. So now when you think about the box problem, where would you put it on the scale between -10 and +10?
Sorry. 4.
+4.
+4. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Okay, very good. So now, so where we want to see, well, what would be better than this? You know, what, or you could say, a couple of questions you could say now, depends on how, you know, how much time you have, but you could say, well, what would you need to completely overcome the box problem?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. It's kind of reaching up and pulling in that state. That's one. Or you could say, well, you know, again, do we need more of the same, or is there something else we need to be better than this? So we can carry on the journey of getting better and better, or we could even reach higher and say, is there something that if you had it would really help you overcome this box problem? And that, you know, might be too early, you know, +4, you know, might be too early to ask that for somebody, but we can test the question.
Yeah, but I like this one actually. What would you need to overcome the box problem, or what would you need to feel even better about the box problem?
Yeah, yeah, different kind of questions, yeah.
I would need to it's kind of but it's not a positive. Well, the answer is I would need to kind of let go of myself, step aside of myself to the box problem, stop being a problem and no longer a box.
So what's the energy of that? What's the emotion of that?
So the emotion of that.
Well, what's the feeling you will have if you did that, if you were there?
If I was there, I would feel free and when you get yourself satisfied with what you're doing, how do you say that? Free and
satisfied.
No, it's not set. It's free and
achieved.
Aligned.
Free and aligned. I want to feel free and aligned. Okay. Yeah. Is that? Would you agree? Then that'd be good setup, Magdalena.
I mean, as long as Gisela feels that it's a good one.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yes, how's that feel, Gisela?
Yes.
Aligned.
So free and aligned.
Yes.
So please put your hands on the heart position and focus on these two emotions while taking 3 deep breaths.
Free and aligned.
Free and aligned. Free and aligned.
Feel the meaning of those. Free and aligned. Okay, good.
Free and aligned.
And aligned. Feel the movement. There's a movement in the body goes with those. Feel that movement in the body. Good. Okay. So let's tap together.
Sorry, I was putting some notes.
Yeah.
Free
and aligned. Feel the meaning. Free and aligned. What does that aligned feel like in the body? Free and aligned. Aligned. Free and aligned. Very good. Free and aligned. Free and aligned. Feel the meaning of that. Free and aligned. Aligned. Free and aligned.
free and
aligned.
aligned. Free and aligned.
Good, good. Feel the meaning.
Aligned.
Free and aligned. Very good.
And back to the heart position. Free and aligned.
Free and aligned.
Okay, and where are you now? Where you think about the box problem? Where are you now between -10 and +10?
Probably like between 5 and 6, +5, +6.
Good. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Okay, and what would you need to feel even better about this problem, box problem? In terms of emotions.
So again, like just giving some more questions. So
Yes.
what would you need to feel better than this, or what is better than this? You know, like it's not like
Yeah.
it may not be something else. It may just be more of the same. Like
Yes.
complete freedom, complete alignment, for instance.
Yeah, it would be something like that. Yes.
Yeah. So like I'm on the way to my freedom and alignment, but I'm not quite completely there. So like another way you could say is, well, that's +6. What would a +8 be about freedom and alignment? Or what would a +10 in freedom alignment be? How would you describe that? What would you be feeling then? They'll be saying, well, complete freedom and alignment. Okay, so let's reach for that. So even we haven't switched round, but I think we've got a couple of minutes, so maybe worth doing another round before we come back, rather than switch, and you take the client in the next exercise.
Sure.
Okay.
So about the box problem, let's reach for, I want complete freedom and alignment
Freedom and complete alignment.
for the box. Complete freedom and alignment. Very good. Speak it out again. Claim it.
Complete freedom and alignment.
And alignment. Yes. Okay.
Freedom.
Very good. Let's tap and claim that. Complete freedom and alignment. I want complete freedom and alignment. Complete freedom and alignment.
I want complete freedom and alignment.
Complete. Total. Complete. Absolute.
Yes. Freedom and alignment.
Complete. Total. Absolute.
Freedom and alignment.
Yeah. Living, breathing, freedom and alignment.
Ocean of freedom and alignment.
Yeah. All the freedom of the universe.
Yeah.
All the freedom and alignment of the universe that's available. I want it.
Of the universe that's available.
Very good. Very good. Complete, absolute, universal freedom, alignment. Very good. Very good. Yeah. Okay. So, where has that brought you? Yeah. Where
are you?
Where are you now?
I guess between 6 and 7.
Okay, good. Great. Good. Good. Okay, welcome back. Welcome back.
You're back.
So we did like just one way round and about 4 rounds of one way. I don't know if you got time to do switch both ways or not, Kim.
We did. Yeah, we did.
Very good, very good. Extra brownie points.
And see how we're all energied up and ding.
So, okay, any kind of comments, observations, anything you want to share about your experience with us? So Kim and Prabha.
I think if I may share first around it, like I went first and I had a yellow problem that I needed some things for, and then when we switched sides, and what we found was that because Prabha had already tapped with me on a couple of my things, that had already shifted for her what she needed for her orange problem. So it was beautiful that my first couple of steps I needed were the ones that she needed, but she'd already had them and gifted them during the session with me. So that was a beautiful experience.
Yeah, very nice, very good. Yeah,
benefits both. That bubble, it's not just client practitioner, it's both of us evolving together.
Yeah. And what about the progression of positives? Was it one positive that you got more and more and more and more of, or did you find there was a progression?
Progression.
Yeah, yeah. And did you find it easy to identify or elicit the positives? How easy was that?
Fairly. Yeah, just asking, is there anything else there? Is there anything before that? Or is there anything before that? Or is there anything before that? Just to chunk down to find that core one was very helpful.
Yeah. So anything to share, Gisela and Magdalena, from ours that might be helpful, you know, again, shared experiences that you want to offer so we can learn from each other?
Well, I felt good.
You feel good, yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because I felt you two were changing too. I felt my change, and I felt you two changing too.
We were getting energized, yeah.
All right. Yeah, it was good. I mean, at some point, I also was, I was very close to Yoni as well. So, yeah, it's definitely movement in me as well.
Yeah.
So teamwork and very valuable information from you, Sandra. So thank you.
Yeah. So a couple of so like just kind of having a few different kinds of questions to ask. So as we're sort of going, you know, to elicit the first ones, you know, the first positive, yeah, it's good to take a moment to tune into the state of the problem, you know, the problem state, to feel it, so you know what that is hungry for. So then you can tune in, because if you're not connected to it, then you may not choose the right antidote, you know, the right energy solution, if you're not actually feeling yourself. So we still want to get the person to, okay, think about the problem. How do you feel about it? You know, and let yourself feel it, and then tune into that and what's needed from there. You know, what's the first thing that's needed to feel better? What's the antidote to this? Inverse of this. That's another one. What's the inverse of this? Is a good question. And then, or you know, what's better than this? What's even better than this? Or what do we need more of to overcome this? And then we had another question which, you know, you can put in, you can use your intuition when to ask it, which is, what do we need to completely overcome this? That, you know, you can ask that too soon sometimes, or you know, or and even if you get that, it might be that, what do you need first on the way to that? You know, so there's, you know, it could still be a journey, even if you know what the key positive is that's needed. And then another thing, as we got higher up the Sue scale, to going to the completely, I want the complete positive. the absolute positive, all the positive in the universe, you know, to kind of open up to a greater flow, because we really want to create an overflow of that positive energy state. Because where we have what it's like is like, you know, an event happened, you know, big stress got there somehow, something happened to change the energy system. So as we tune into the problem, there's the blockage state, and we're adding energy and more energy and more energy until it kind of flows, and then we kind of get an overflow, and it's the overflow state that flushes it all out to create the healing event. And if we don't go high enough, or we don't have enough time, you know, it's worth coming back to finish to do some more on it. We want to at some point arrive to +10, so we can have a complete lasting change that flushes out those roots. So I hope that kind of metaphor is helpful. Okay, very good. So stepping stones. So we've looked actually at stepping stones. Our intention is making, thank you Kim, is making the client happier in stepping stones towards their happiness. So we can have a sequence of positives. We can have the same positive all the way up to +10, or we can have a series. But we only need to know the first step, and the rest will arise as we go. So we have a group exercise. One person is the client. The trainer is the practitioner. So that's me. And the trainer asks the client what they would like to achieve. So I want to be more X, less Y, overcome this problem, or I wish I was this. And so, so in other words, I'll take the lead. Maybe we can do that with Magdalena. You didn't have a chance to have the client experience. And so we'll identify a positive. And then what we're going to do is the whole group is going to tap together for Magdalena's positive for Magdalena. So you're going to now, you missed out the first exercise, but now you're going to have group tapping for you for your problem. So aren't you glad you missed out on it now? So this is really good. Okay, so have you got something that you would like more of, or a problem you want to overcome?
Yeah, I want to be more carefree.
Carefree, okay.
Carefree.
Okay.
Even careless, but in a positive way. So I think carefree is a better word.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I tend to, you know, worry too much, maybe not even worry, but take things too seriously. So I want to like let go, you know.
Yeah.
So carefree is, yeah, I like.
To be more carefree. And at the moment, in the feeling of carefree, -10 to +10, how much do you feel you have?
-2 maybe.
Okay, okay, so good to know the starting point. So let's all together, let's tap and to help Magdalena reach that feeling of being more carefree. So heart position, and our setup is like more carefree for Magdalena. So let's focus our attention on our client. More carefree for Magdalena. So give your attention, again, eyes closed, you cut off part of your attention, you've got lots of information. Carefree for Magdalena. Feel the meaning of what we're saying. Carefree, Magdalena. More carefree, Magdalena. Okay, so let's tap. Carefree, Magdalena. More carefree for Magdalena. Carefree. Feel what that feels like in the body. Carefree for Magdalena. A carefree Magdalena.
Carefree Magdalena.
Carefree Magdalena. Feel the meaning. Free. Magdalena. Magdalena. Carefree. Carefree. Carefree Magdalena. Carefree Magdalena. Ah, even more carefree Magdalena. Even more carefree Magdalena. Carefree. Ah, Magdalena. Carefree. Completely carefree. Okay, after one round, come back to the heart and just feel yourself. What's changed? What's changing? And what's changing in your feeling of carefreeness? And from a -2 before, what's changed?
I feel more carefree in terms of, I think I'm pretty much at the 0 right now.
Okay.
It's like, yeah, like neutral state.
Neutral state, okay.
Yes.
So what would be better? What would a +3 be? Would that be, well, how would you describe that as? More carefree, or, you know, what would that state be?
Emotional freedom.
Emotional freedom, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go for that. Emotional freedom for Magdalena. Emotional freedom for Magdalena. Emotional freedom for Magdalena. Okay, emotional freedom for Magdalena. Okay, emotional freedom for Magdalena. Emotional freedom for you. Tapping for your emotional freedom for you.
So for me.
Yeah, for you, for me.
Emotional
And we'll say for you, yeah.
Yeah.
Emotional freedom for you. Your emotional freedom. Yeah. Emotional freedom for you, Magdalena. Emotional freedom for you, Magdalena. Emotional freedom for you, Magdalena. Emotional freedom for you. Emotional free, Magdalena. Yeah, good. Okay. Let's check in on what's evolving, what's changing.
It's funny because it feels actually, I don't know, maybe it's switching, you know, the subject a little bit, but actually I feel like as for emotional freedom, it's under 0 a little bit, like -1 maybe.
Yeah, and you know, and that's interesting to observe that what's happening, because each positive, we can have a 0, we can have a up to +10 on each positive. And you know, as one example I can remember was helping somebody to get, you know, she was nervous about public speaking. She had a meeting next week, so she had to give a talk. And so, you know, the first thing is, I wanted to be relaxed. She said, I want to be relaxed. So we got her to +10 in relaxed. I said, well, what's better than relaxed in giving a talk? She said, well, actually, I'd like to be able to enjoy it. So even though she was +10 in relaxed, in enjoyment, she was only like +2. So
Mhm.
so maybe emotional freedom is a stronger positive. So
Mhm.
so in that, your degree of having what emotional freedom represents to you is less. You know, it is lower
Mhm.
because it's a higher positive. It's just like saying, okay, I'm completely plus 10 in relaxed, but I'm only a plus 2 in joy. It's like saying, well, in carefree, how are you in carefree?
Mm. Maybe +2.
Okay, so you have actually evolved in the positive in carefree, but emotional
Mhm.
freedom is bigger than carefree. It's a bigger positive, and so you're not as high, you're not as far
Mhm.
advanced in the bigger positive as the carefree. So that's interesting, isn't it, to kind of observe that. So as we reach for something higher, we might feel that we're less in it, but in something that's less, we're higher in it.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, okay, so where do you want to tap for now? Let's do another round on this. More carefree or emotional freedom? What feels
More
right?
free. More free.
More free. Yeah, free. Okay.
Mhm.
So, and just checking yourself, we'll just tap more free for Magdalena.
Mhm.
Feeling more free. Just kind of play with the words to feel what's the right resonance. More free. I want to feel more free. What feels right? More freedom, more free,
For now, more free, I
more
think.
free. Okay, so
Mhm.
let's all together, let's do another round for you. More free for Magdalena. So take a moment in the heart position. Sometimes we rush the heart position, I find, you know, kind of keen to get tapping. So say it and with meaning. More free for Magdalena. A more free Magdalena. A free Magdalena. Okay. Free Magdalena. A more free Magdalena. A more free Magdalena. A more free. An even more free Magdalena. The most free Magdalena that we could discover. The most free Magdalena that is possible. So let your words flow about this to like discover increasing degrees of feeling free. More free Magdalena. And even more free Magdalena. The freest Magdalena that we could possibly imagine. Completely free Magdalena. Magdalena living free. Magdalena set free. Find your words. They're the words that feel right for you.
This is the thing. Sometimes I have a problem with, naming something because it's a feeling and it's not really a word.
Ah, yeah, it's
So,
a feeling. Yeah, more.
Yeah. So this for me. It's I prefer to focus on the feeling and not,
Yeah, more.
force myself to try to find a proper word for that. So
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so what's evolving from carefreeness?
I get a number 3, +3. But at the same time, I feel tension like at the back of my head.
Yeah, yeah. So evolution, that's good.
Yes, yes.
So, and with the pause, so where we could go from if we together, say now, where could we go if we were going to do another round?
I think relax. I think we would go to more relaxed and such.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So you can go in our stepping stones towards where you want to be. So how does that feel? I know, you know, the rest of the group, actually you were muted out, so maybe you didn't get a sense that they were tapping along with you in the same way as if they weren't muted out. So I don't know if you've got a sense of the group energy supporting you or not in that way, because I know you're participating, but when you're muted out, it kind of cuts the energy flow, isn't it? So I don't know if you actually felt the benefit of that.
I didn't really, you know, focus on that. I tried to focus on what I feel. So
yeah, yeah. Okay, so that's something, you know, that while we're, you know, that's a kind of a problem with the technology, you know, in the kind of the course. It's a technical problem. Is if we're all in the same room, we'd all be, you know, you'd feel all the energy support from the group for that. So I should have asked actually everybody to keep unmuted so you could kind of receive that energy. So so as a group, when you're working with groups, so you're going to be working one with a client, but we'll talk about later encouraging you as a practitioner to set up regular tapping groups with your clients so that you actually create a community that's ongoing, that you're working together. And when you have a group, or if you're a trainer and you have a group, you have the opportunity to do something with group energy that you don't have when you're only working one-to-one. So, you know, that's another valuable experience that you can bring to somebody when you have a group. Less available with technology and muting out. So that's a learning point for me. Okay, so that's stepping stones, really, just identifying positive and stepping stones towards +10 and having another experience of it. Another thing we can do is expand the positive itself. So we can, you know, when you take, let's say, freedom as a concept, as a positive, if we actually tap on freedom itself, not only we get more of it, but our concept of what is the meaning of freedom to us also expands. So we kind of learn something more about that in itself. So let's just do a round. Let's choose a positive that we could all tap on together. It's suggesting love here in its widest metaphorical sense. And let's do a tapping to experience how we can expand our concept of by just tapping on it. Not only have more of the energy, but expand our meaning of it. So in the heart position, I want to expand my ideas about love.
I want to expand my ideas about love.
And say that again really with meaning. I want to expand my ideas about love.
I want to expand my ideas about love.
So we're going to tap slowly and mindfully about love on each point. Love. Love. Love.
Love.
Love.
Love.
Love. Love.
Love.
Love.
Love.
Love. Love.
Love.
Love.
Love.
Love.
Love.
Love. Love.
Love.
Love.
Love.
Love. Love.
Love.
So, in addition to feeling more love, what other things do you do in that?
Joy, I think.
Joy, yeah. Connection,
Silly good.
yeah. It was like, felt like, oh, love is good for you. You know, it's good for your health. Yeah. It's more fun. Yeah. What other things kind of came to you, like kind of expanded or came into your awareness about love as you're tapping? Yeah, make me feel happy.
I was needing it.
Yeah, I needed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did anyone get a sense of, you know, awareness that was other or more than previous? You know, did it expand in any way, your concept?
I had a sense of silliness to
Fun,
life. That it
yeah.
was like, yeah, how silly that I didn't have this all the time. Like it's like, well,
Yeah.
this is silly.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's light.
Yeah. So yeah, it's as is cultivating, growing the love feeling. You know, other kind of observations may come to you. You know, we only did one round, but if we did a few more, you know, we'll probably expand and grow even more. So, so we can use positives to understand and come to know those positives more, and expand our understanding and meaning of the concepts themselves. Positives. So for any problem in the energy body, there's a corresponding +10 healing event. There's always that. And we don't know exactly when we're going to hit the healing event, but we know we will if we keep going. And there's always a final positive that brings about the healing event. And it starts to make itself known as we get closer to the healing event. So we can start to sense for it. As we get up to like 7, 8, 9, we can really sense what's the key positive that's going to bring about the healing event. So, you know, we can be feeling for that and asking for that, you know, what's going to help us completely overcome this? And, you know, so that might be a new positive, or it might be a more complete version of the one you have. So you can sense for the positive that will bring about the healing event. It's quite important. Now, the other thing is a personal power positive. So in between your sessions, your client, we want the client to be tapping on themselves. And a good stress solution is to have a power positive that is reliable and going to work for the client to get them into a more resourceful state quickly. So we want to use part of our first session with the client to establish their personal power positive. So we're going to do that now, because that's quite a good tool to give your clients. So, and what we do is we choose something that is already a favorite thing, something that we already love and already is a favorite thing with us. So we've got some established positive state with it, and then we build it into a +10. And then once it's been built into +10 through tapping, it's very quick to reaccess that +10 for that positive. Again, when we need it as a rescue remedy to quickly get us out of stress. So, so we're going to discover it. We will ask, is there something that you've always loved for as long as you can remember? Yeah, have we all got something? Take a moment, take a moment. What's something that you've always loved? Or maybe there's more than one, you know. Choose something that you that you love it, you know. Okay. Okay, I've got one. Has everybody else got one? Yeah. So as we begin, just notice how much the love feeling is, how strong the love feeling is at the moment as we're just tuning into it. And now let's do a round of tapping on that. So let's say mine is my songs and poems, for example. So I'm just going to tap for my songs and poems. My songs and poems. Until I bring myself up to a 10. So we'll get our each respective, our own power positive, and then you can see how we'll do that in a group. Okay, so I'll do top down. So shout out what yours are.
Unicorns.
Unicorns, okay.
Yeah.
Rabba?
Blue skies.
Blue skies. Magdalena?
I went for emotions, excitement.
Excitement. Gisela?
Intuition and connection.
Integration and connection.
Intuition
and connection. Okay, so now each of us, that's our setup. So take a deep breath and speak your own setup with feeling. Songs and poems. Say it and feel the energy that goes with it. Songs and poems. Share my songs and poems. Okay, so. Sharing songs and poems. Sharing. Speak it out loud for yourself. Sharing my songs and poems. Sharing my songs and poems.
The energy of unicorns.
Sharing my songs and poems. 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 Sharing my songs and poems
Yeah.
So, and when you've done a round, what's it done to your Sue state, Sue scale state? And that's kind of brought me up into happiness. Like I'm like +8 now. Mine, I can, another round, I'll definitely be +10 on another round of that. Anybody else? Where has it brought you? One round of tapping on your favorite thing?
Probably about a 6.
6, yeah.
Well, it brought me to want to do more.
Yeah, yeah. Prabha?
7 +7.
7. Magdalena?
6.
Okay, let's do another round then. Okay. Sharing. As your energy rises and gets stronger, if you want to stand up and move around, feel free. I feel like I want to now. Okay. Okay. Good. How we doing?
Well, I started to cry.
Uh-huh.
But this is like, I think the bigger thing, because basically it's connected to my sense of freedom and of being alive, in terms of feeling alive, you know, in terms of being at +10.
Yeah.
So it was sort of bittersweet.
Well, it's actually a healing, you know, a
Yes,
healing
yes.
process for
It
you.
actually, yeah, it actually, you know, triggered something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't really say where it is on the Sue scale, because
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Okay. Okay, so that really would be to break through that and reach that feeling alive inside myself, freedom. To reach that place of a +10 of that and anchor that as your positive, you could always go back there really quickly then as a stress buster rescue remedy, you know, once you've anchored it. So that's what we want to do with our clients, particularly in the first session, is to help them identify something that they already love, tap it up to a +10 and anchor it as a power positive for them to use as a rescue remedy, as a immediate stress remedy anytime that they can go back to and tap for it. So I did that with a client last week, and he chose the church, which was actually turning around and seeing his bride walking down the aisle. He said it was like one of the happiest moments of his life. So his was the church. That was his anchor that we did to kind of get him into his happy state of gratitude and happiness, and remind him of what he values and everything. And that, you know, that I gave him that last week to kind of have his rescue remedy. So, but it's not surprising if it actually evokes some things that need healing along the way. But then once you've got that, you know, that's a really good tool. So you're all clear how to give that to your client. Yes, Gisela?
Okay, can I have a question? It's a little bit out of topic, but not really,
Yeah.
because in EFT we start with distressing the client.
Yeah.
So do we skip it here? And
Yeah, good question. We're coming to that, and what we're doing, de-stressing the client, is energizing the client.
yeah, I realize that it's just,
Yeah. So we
you
just,
know,
yeah, so we do de-stress the client, but we say, you know, what do you need, you know, to, so we would check their SUE state before we begin anything. So later when we look at, let's say, the story protocol, when we actually start to do some work, we talk about, we want the client to be in a safe, stable state for anything that we do, because we want a coherent client who understands what's going on and helps the process. So we would say, what do we need to bring us into like a +5 state, so we can then help our aspects or start to address the issue. So we always say, okay, what do you need to be better than this? How do you feel now? What's better than this? What do you need to feel even better? And so we get them into a +4 or 5 state, and that's the equivalent of the de-stressing the client that we did in the EFT master.
So basically we do the same thing, it's just we call it differently.
We just call it we're slightly doing a slightly different way, but it's
more like empowering.
Principle is the same. Yeah, we're empowering,
but it's like
the
empowering
client.
The client.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So that will come. So we'll be using positives to do that. You know, that's one of the applications, empowering the client before we go to work with them. So positives all the way. It's safe to tap with positives. So one of the features of this approach, like we set out, Sylvia is happy to be able to offer this as a practitioner training, even if people haven't got 30 sessions of reflexology behind them, or, you know, 2 years of counseling training behind them. Actually, it's safe to work with positives. If you just keep asking what else is needed and keep positives, then you'll spend much less time in the painful areas and much more time in a higher state. So that makes it safe for people to work. So it keeps us focused on the solutions and positive outcomes by working with positives. It also helps us to get out of the entrainment of going into the problem and tapping on the problem. You know, that takes a little bit of retraining to, you know, as it's a different approach. It requires a lot. It requires us to let go of the juicy psychodrama and the excruciating details of psychotherapy and psychoanalysis. So, in other words, the talking about the drama, we're not talking about the drama, we can kind of let go of that. It requires the understanding that the positives are the real energy remedies for the problems of the past, and that they are the energy boost that we need to therefore become successful in the future. So this is the difference between the psychology approach and the modern energy. We're just looking at the solutions, as you say, Magdalena, completely solution focused.
Can I just correct something in a way, because I feel that there is a little bit of misunderstanding, because psychotherapy, it's not only psychoanalysis.
Yeah.
And actually I'm trained in integrative counseling, which takes from every field, like literally every field, and looks at the clients from very different angles. And it's completely possible to work in this way, not even from energy point of view, but psychotherapy point of view.
Yeah.
But also, it doesn't need to, you know, the client doesn't need to be focused on trauma or, well, the problem.
Yeah.
And it can be content free, but sometimes it's really needed. And from my own perspective, when I first tried to use modern energy tapping, there were situations that basically it didn't really work for me. I really tried. I was probably on the -7, so it was quite high.
Yeah.
And I really tried to focus on a positive, and I tapped on positive, and it didn't work. Basically, it was so deep that I needed to, reduce that
Yeah.
fight and flight mode to be able to move to the positives. So so not always it's you know.
However, I get that, and however, it's also good to recognize that recognition, allowance are positives. You know, that
absolutely.
So just that recognizing my state, allowing myself to be in this state, you know, is acknowledgement of that state are also positives. So so they might not, you know, when we're reaching for, oh, happiness is like maybe too far, too remote for that kind of a state. So just the first step, it would be just allowance and recognition, acknowledgement, you know, or just some small, you know, maybe it's finding the right positive, you know, maybe it's a little bit of practice to tune into yourself to find the right one. So because when you just tap on, you know, whatever the feeling was, the -7 state, so what emotion would that be, the -7 state that you had?
That was probably something around panic. And just to be clear, I don't know. I never tap on negative emotions. I always tap on something like I let go, I release, that feeling. So yes.
Letting go is a positive.
Yes.
Release is a positive. Safety is a positive. So
I mean, this is how I, you know, this is how I work.
Yeah.
So basically, I seriously felt like when I tried to, you know, force myself to work on positives, like on, I don't know, something like something definitely positive, like love or I don't know, freedom, whatever. It was like going against the flow, like going against the current. Absolutely didn't work. So so you think that releasing something, it's positive? I mean, you consider
release.
That's
release
good. Oh, okay.
Is a positive. Letting go, surrender is they're all positives. So it's I think it's expanding the definition of what the positives are.
Exactly.
Because letting go is a positive. Recognition is a positive. Allowance.
Surrender
is a really big positive. So
say again.
Surrender is a big positive.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's actually understanding what it is that we're doing in those moments. Actually, there are positive moments. They're not just the list, you know. This is not a list. And so I get what you're saying, because the positive is the right remedy, and you're the one who is it, not like, oh, which is the best one on the page for me. Actually, what do you need? That's the positive.
All right, so now it makes sense, because I was like, really, oh my God, it's not working for me, basically. Okay, so actually it did, and it was natural.
So when you ask the question, what do I need when I'm in my panic? What do I need? Reassurance. Okay, for example, or, you know, safety, or, you know, just release, just release. So is what do I need? So actually, just tuning into that, what do I need, gives you the positives as well.
Okay.
Yeah, good. Thank you for that. That's good.
Thank you for clarification, because I really was like, something is wrong here.
Well, I know what the feeling is, because is when you, how do you know what's the right positive? It's the one that feels resonant for you, that it's attractive to you. It feels like it meets your hunger and meets your need. That's the right positive.
Actually, in that case, it feels like basically to feel less panicked. So that's, I mean, can it be considered
so
positive?
You could say less panic, but another way, well, what would the feeling be?
No. Like I said, I never use like negative emotions. So in these terms, I always use I release that.
Yeah.
So
okay. Good.
Thank you.
So where were we? So anyway, yeah, the difference between psychology, what I wanted to say, that point that you brought in, you know, obviously all fields of therapeutic endeavor are evolving as well. You know, so how it used to be in the past, maybe, you know, there's new approaches, you know, even in other areas of kind of therapeutic work. So
there is 450 kinds of therapies.
Yeah.
So yes, and art therapy are, you know, very strong art therapies. So yeah.
So finding the right positive and the key positive is actually where it's at, and so we've got some good questions that's arisen from that conversation. To know, what do you need right now? What will help you right now? What's the first thing that you need to feel better? So, you know, they'll show you what the first steps are. Okay, so unit 2, what we covered, energy and the absence of energy, positives being aspects of love, starting to think positively about that, solutions, being focused on solutions, and the stepping stones towards +10. What's the first step towards that, on that journey? How to expand our concept of any positive into being, you know, meaning more than it was. Identifying the key positive to bring about the healing event, which kind of starts to appear as we approach +10. Helping the client to have a power positive as a quick stress release, and you know, positives for everything. Good. Okay. So that's a good start on the positives. And the next unit, we'll look at future orientation and future aspects and role models. So our future aspect and role models as our orientation. So let's have a break now. So let's look at the times, because we're in different time zones and we'll to have some kind of a meal at some point. I actually had my breakfast before we started. So what time of day? We're 20:11, so I'm all right for a bit. Who needs to have a kind of a longer break now for a meal? Normally we'd have an hour.
Wow.
Yeah. And so actually
I do have to eat something.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so Kim and Prabha, you're in your tea time, evening meal, aren't you, time? So let's break for an hour now then.
Okay. Lunchtime at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, so you have breakfast. You'll have your late
breakfast, yeah.
Have your lunch snack later, and then have your dinner. You've got the rest of the evening free, you know, from 3 o'clock onwards or whatever it is. You know, the rest of the day by finishing early. Okay, so it's 20 past. We'll come back at 20 past the next hour. And I'm going to close the meeting. So I'll stop the record now.